stuff too. We're going to talk about flying. We're going to talk about sports cards. We'll talk about what else?
I brought some. I can give you some multi-family stuff. I got a deal in Austin going on.
That's stock.
Lots of stock. It's not a different. I'm addicted to throwing my money at other, risky plays. So,
hey, well, I didn't tell you guys because I wanted to be a surprise. But surprise, we're live. We're recording now, and I want to first of all introduce you guys. You don't know my man Sean, but this guy.
We've met.
Oh yeah, well you know James.
I know James.
You haven't met Grant.
Yeah.
This guy right here just got married. The bachelor party's over. He's not married yet, but he's still on track to get married. We just got back from the bachelor party. That's a real thing. You never know. We just got back from the bachelor party, getting married in I don't know, a little over 2nd. A month. So James, this is Sean, James, Grant, Sean, Grant. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves for anybody that doesn't know who the hell James and Grant and Senior Life Solutions, which I think there's probably nobody that doesn't know, but why don't you just share a little bit about Senior Life, what you guys know about what you guys know about?
So Senior Life Services is am I even allowed to say the word insurance?
Yeah, that's as much as you can. That's as much as you can say on this podcast. So just the word insurance, only because it's in the title.
Yeah, so we are an insurance agency. Grant's father started it. It's actually our 50th year anniversary.
Wow,
awesome! But Grant and I are fraternity brothers. We lived across the hall from each other in college. Got in enough trouble together to realize that we didn't want the party to stop, and so I graduated in 2008. The recession hit pretty hard in 2009. And so everything I was trying to do was not working very well. I was a finance major, real estate minor. And so long story short, which will segue, I guess, into what some of the stuff we're going to talk about. Grant and I are also diehard Magic fans. And so Grant came up to the Orlando Magic playoff game. I believe it was the Lakers in the finals.
Lake Show.
And him and his dad rolled up, and I believe his dad was driving a Bentley at the time. And Grant invited me to the game.
What's that for those that don't know? What's a Bentley?
That was the convertible.
Okay.
And
it's a car.
And he invited me to the game. I could barely afford the gas to go meet him before the game. I was hoping that his dad would pay for the drinks, which he did. And his dad was talking about how business has never been better and how they were killing it, but that they had heard that the insurance industry was making this trend towards technology, selling over the phone. And so then Grant and I had a conversation about it. And the next day I decided that, why not? Because business never been better for him. So
no
13
doubt.
Years later, here we are. I moved down to Vero Beach, and we started the whole thing all over again. And so now the entire agency is his dad's still involved. Grant's next in line, but we do everything over the phone. And last week we submitted, I think, $580,000 of annualized premium.
Wow.
Of all final expense, all sold over the phone.
And that's not even all just in one call center either, right? You've got agents that do still work remote. I know you guys are centralized in a call center mostly, but you've got a lot of agents that still work from home or remote too, right?
Yep. Used to be face-to-face agents, and now none of them go door-to-door. So all our face-to-face agents converted to selling from home. And so we've really expanded on that. And it's all thanks to this guy and the Dougherty family. So it's been quite the journey.
Awesome.
Well, I have nothing to say now. He took everything. No, I mean, it was like he said all this stuff. We were fraternity brothers. We lived across the hall, and convinced him. I don't know how, but it was just like very serendipitous timing. And then he literally uprooted his whole life, moved to Vero Beach. And, now he's got a family here, his parents, everyone, he's moved his entire family here. So thank you for that, James Whitley. No thank doubt. You enough for that. Yeah.
Not a bad place to move your family though. So
no,
it's fantastic. We get to golf. Come on, we live the life.
Yeah.
And, but so, it's the agency was very, kitchen table sales. I've been in the field. I started off, I've done pretty much everything in the business from lead generation. I used to lick the envelopes and, send off the mailings back when I was younger. And then I worked in lead generation, and now it used to just be kitchen table sales. And now now everyone has to, with COVID, everyone has to do what we do. So it's been a breath of, fresh air, and now it's kind of right in our wheelhouse, and we're able to hire just about any person. Like we have an 83-year-old that's like President's Club. It's like kicking ass. We have an 83-year-old President's Club producing. We have a President's Club producing 3-time President's Club 83-year-old lady who is just like class act, awesome, and like
good night.
83.
Well, she probably just sells to all of her friends.
If she's 83. But we can teach it to an 83-year-old.
Clearly, she doesn't think insurance sucks, huh?
No, and all the way down to an 18-year-old who's in school full time and always sells on the weekends. So
very cool.
Well, listen, guys, love the insurance background. Obviously, that's why you're here. But I shared with you before we went live and started recording. There's nobody else I would want to do this podcast with today than you guys, because we're both just completely annihilated off of the tail end of a bachelor party. That was a great time. We played three straight days of golf, 3 straight nights of going out, hanging out, doing what you do on bachelor parties and whatnot. And we came back exhausted. And I'm like, man, if it was not James and Grant getting on the pod today, I would probably just reschedule, because I wouldn't be able to force a conversation with somebody I didn't either know or like, or at least had a little bit of interest. But I'm genuinely interested in not the insurance stuff so much. I'm genuinely interested. See, it's going to be like that the whole time. But I'm genuinely interested in, first and foremost, because it's something that I'm looking at getting into. Actually, there's 2 things. First is sports cards. Second is flying. I do want to get my pilot's license. I know James is kind of going through some of that now. But sports cards, is it something that you do as a hobby because you like to collect sports cards? Is it something that you truly believe is going to make a good profit one day? What's give me some background on sports card collecting.
Cool. Yeah. Well, so it's something I did since I was a kid, right? I remember like back in like 1998 when Sosa and McGuire were bashing home runs with their steroid size 12 head.
When baseball was cool.
Yeah. Late Nate.
But that's when sports cards were super, super popular. They call the late 80s and early 90s the junk era, because everyone's like, I got cards, but like 99.999 repeating % of those are worth like nothing.
Right.
So like you to
actually the ones I have boxes
of
in storage.
They need to either be graded or diamonds in the rough. And so I grew up like around sports cards. I used to make my mom drive me to the every day. I'm not even kidding. Like to the one shop we have in town, and then I took hiatuses here and there, but I realized that it's lucrative and it appeals to a lot of people, like if you're, let's just say you love sports, you're a fantasy sports guy, you like fantasy football. If you think so-and-so's going to blow up in fantasy sports, you can literally, they're like player stocks. You can invest in these people and you could get so many shares of a certain player, usually like a guy who's coming into a league, like a rookie, and then if you if you would have put stock on, like if you would have bet, put $1,000 on Patrick Mahomes when he first came out, you would have like $300,000 or something. Something insane.
Oh, the returns are incredible.
It's incredible. Maybe like $200,000. I mean, it's like incredible amounts. And so it's like, it appeals. Like I have people in cards that are like, they own businesses, they're plastic surgeons, investors, financial advisors. I mean, everybody, sports nuts, degenerate gambler people, and I'll leave my comments.
Yeah. Right.
And like, I mean, it appeals to so much and it's exciting, right? And I mean, if you watch sports, you have now all of a sudden you invested in a game. Let's say like, dude, like for instance, if Josh Allen would have won that game, that crazy one with Mahomes, like it would have swung like his cards like 30-40%.
So you're watching the impact of those stocks in real time, essentially in the game.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and so think about this. So it's you got all major sports. There's rare cards that you don't even know existed. And I'll show you a few of them. But the reason why people would get into cards, and just to answer your question, is number one, you're passionate about it. And it's like they call it the hobby. Like you're passionate about the hobby, with the hobby of sports card collecting. And that's part of the reason why, like if you don't love it, when the market's down, you'll be like, oh, screw it. It's just the market's down. But if you actually enjoy it, which I genuinely do, like I'm a like kid playing with toys.
I can tell.
And it's like that part of it's unbelievable. But then the investor side of it's also like I'm to answer your question, I'm like 50-50.
Okay.
But probably more 60-40 hobby collector than like the intent of most everything I do is to make money, you know? And so there's strategies, there's different brands, there's different times to invest, times to buy, times to sell. And it's a whole, we could talk about that for hours alone.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's lots of sports card podcasts, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch.
I'm curious as to, because I know a little bit about sports cards, mainly because I got in reselling last year, reselling of unopened sports cards, huge market. I'm actually banned. Banned from Target right now. Labeled as a reseller for buying online. So I'm waiting for that penalty to fall out. But I mean, it's crazy because like you mentioned, like if you have cards from the 90s, like 99.9% of them aren't worth anything. Even if it's a big name, even if you've got a Jordan or a Griffey or whatever it is, like you have to have not only just the right player, but you have to have the right series. Like right now with Prisms, like there's so many different versions of them, but you have to have like the most sought after type of card from the most sought after brand. And it's, like you said, it's insane. Cause I mean, I'll sell boxes for 4 or 5 times retail because people are hoping to pull a card that's
but you're the guy that always can seem to make money on it while I'm still losing money on the same products. My Prisms that I bought, I sold for less than I feel like
but you're upset because you made, you sell them for 10-15% markup.
Yeah, that's no good. It just doesn't excite me.
Yeah, well, it doesn't, but sometimes you get the...
Hey, you made $4 profit on that box.
Yeah. Like I probably sold about 40 of the NBA 2020 Mega Prisms, which were which I mean $50 retail, resold for 200 something bucks. Which great find, but you buy something for $20, you sell it for 30. That's pretty good profit if you can repeat it over and over. But are you like Grant? Are you strictly I go out because I know you have the stock Xbox, so obviously buying individual cards. But like, do you like to buy unopened packs and rip as well? Or are you somebody that you just want to go out and buy that specific card? Okay,
that's a great question. Well, the answer is both. The answer is I tend to smoke my own stash.
I'm guilty of it as well.
After a couple, Chardonnays.
Exactly.
So it's like
sitting on the shelf, and you're like, I got to do it.
I do in my office. I actually do have stuff like. I have a lot of like old 90s wax, but like newer stuff too, and oddball stuff. Like I like unique stuff. So if I literally have an Instagram like just for my cards. Like
he has a Kim Kardashian card.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It didn't sell yet.
I have it with me, so I'll show you a couple of them. But like,
he's very excited for this podcast because he actually blocked me from his Instagram because I just sit here and look at him on his phone all day, and it's.
I have since unblocked you. It's just because I was taking flack for doing some of it during work, and then I was like, well,
happens.
Well, listen. So here's the whole. What I love about this is kind of the evolution of how this podcast even got started. Sean got into reselling. Obviously, crypto is a big topic of discussion all the time, and so I wanted to launch a podcast, and ultimately this year I wanted to have more fun with everything that we were doing, and so I'm like, hey, let's start a podcast for insurance agents, right? We're insurance agents, so by insurance agents, but let's talk about the shit that insurance agents do outside of insurance, like in their day-to-day life, because it's really cool to hear about how you sold 115 policies and you did, this and that and the other, but it's like, I can only take so much of it, and I'm in all these Facebook groups and all these sales trainings, all these things. You just hear the same kind of stuff over and over again. I want to know what people are doing on the side, where they're reinvesting that money. How are you making your money go to work for you? Are you investing in real estate? Are you investing in sports cards? Are you, buying a bunch of Chardonnay? Who knows, right? Like what you can be doing all kinds of stuff.
James
so that's
a wine club. James is in so many wine clubs.
I do collect some wine, but it's funny. I was talking to a mutual friend of Grant. I was talking to AMAC this morning, and I was saying that it's really tough to get passionate about. I just don't even know if I can say the word about insurance.
About insurance,
you get passionate about the opportunity that it gives you to.
It's an avenue, and what obviously Grant and I are passionate about is helping now our agents be successful. That's what gets me up and 100%. Gets me going. But taking that money, that the opportunity it's afforded me and my family, and taking that money and being able to invest it in, like, my passion is real estate. Like, like real estate, I dream about it. It gets me going. I'm doing deals in Texas. I'm doing deals in, in Florida and different stuff like that. That's why I was talking to AMAC, and Grant's going to get excited about different topics there, but he probably won't humble brag as much as I will about him. I mean, you should see the like Excel spreadsheets this kid's made. Like, it's like tracking the value and uptrend. But he probably, in his house alone, don't give your address away, probably has what 99% of America would be able to retire on that portfolio of stuff. So it is.
He he now moved it to a vault that he doesn't have the code for when he's drinking Chardonnay.
That's right.
Right. But I mean, he's passionate about it. And so therefore he understands it, just like, real estate or crypto or whatever. Like, I can't get into crypto. I can't get into cards, but real estate, I could.
What about you, Grant? Crypto or no crypto?
I'm not like a freak, but I mean, I've made money in crypto. I have it, and I'm gonna have the main players like Bitcoin.
But you're not going to be the guy that's saying it's never going to happen. Nothing's ever going to happen. It's the internet of You're not going to be the guy saying that the internet is not ever going.
I'm a healthy medium. Like, I'm not gonna I'm a proponent of like I have shares of a lot lot of things. I mean, I don't want to be like. I have too much FOMO to be like.
We're not day trading it. We both own it. Like Grant a couple years ago told me to buy Ethereum, and I was like, all right, fine, whatever, because I day trade stocks all the time because I went to school for it. Mm-hmm. So I enjoy that. And so I'm always like, and I'm in Discord groups and day trading stuff and doing stuff on the side. And then one day he told me to buy it. I bought it, and then crypto crashed and I forgot about it. And then one day, like, everyone was talking about it again, and we were both like, we couldn't figure out how to get into our Coinbase. Oh my God, yeah! And like, I finally figured out how to log in, and it was like worth $11,000. And I was like, oh, this is pretty
sweet.
Cool.
No, and then I got trolled when it dropped. Everyone in my dad and James like, oh, you good buy, idiot. I was like, just hold it. I said, don't put in as much as you don't want to lose. Like, it could go to zero, but like Ethereum and Bitcoin,
the Ripple is still worth nothing.
And they can't all be winners.
Yeah, they definitely can't all be winners.
But what Ethereum made up for every altcoins crash.
Yeah,
I mean, Ethereum going to be a big player, and they use it to buy NFTs, which is a whole other world.
Which is going to be my next question.
Yeah. Actually, before we go too far down the crypto rabbit hole, I still want to see what Grant has in the box.
Yeah, let's see.
We haven't gotten to see the cards. Yeah, come on. Okay, you can't tease us like that.
I tend to go in circles, so
I
wouldn't let you. I would have been like, we're coming back to this.
Apparently, someone let him in the ball.
Well, hey, it's okay.
Someone let me in the ball. Yeah,
it's okay.
So I collect all sports really, and like I collect non-sport like oddball stuff. I got like Kobayashi and like Joey Chestnut autographs and stuff.
Interesting.
Cards, like they have hilarious. A card. Anyways, so
you got like a pubic hair or something too, right?
What?
No, it's a chest hair. No, I'm just kidding. No, George Washington sample hair.
Get out.
I do have a George Washington hair, and it's not with me. It's in the vault.
I carry it in this pocket right here.
Did it have it? I hope it came with the COA.
It's like,
all right, the freaking
I got George Washington's hair. I get in arguments. I'm like, I got George Washington's hair. You don't got anything. Like,
the anticipation's killing me, man. Yeah. Just let's see it. To break it out.
Okay.
Let's see.
So we got a couple oldies here. So I'll get some vintage. This is a childhood chase card. It's like Babe Ruth, 1933 Gaudy.
And that is it a Beckett graded?
No, so this is SGC. SGC is like sort of like so the main players are like PSA, which is the one everyone wants. There's Beckett, which is aka BGS, and then SGC is probably is an alternate, but it's still
like the third party
reputable.
One. Yeah,
it is, but with vintage card, it's still pretty good. Yeah. So this is a 4.5 graded Babe Ruth I got last year. Like I've always kind of wanted that.
Cool. That's awesome.
And then also got a Jackie Robinson.
Same grading.
Here's the thing. This is his history. And so this is like from 1948 Leaf, Jackie Robinson. Like literally it's his his rookie card from, and this is for me, like this is historic.
Yeah. Well, on a 4.5, most people would think sucks, but for a card that's 70 years old, the fact that it's not torn and ripped, like that's incredible.
Oh yeah, like that's cool. That was like 30 something grand or something.
Holy
it's probably worth a little. I mean, these are expensive cards, yeah.
And these are the cards you would never sell these either, just because they're like you said, the childhood cards.
So in the card world, it's called PC, like personal collection. Like this is in my PC. Like I'm not getting rid of these.
Yeah,
that's a Hank Aaron rookie.
Wow.
Many of you have seen this one before. It's a Ken Griffey Jr. 1989 Upper Deck PSA 10
PSA
graded.
10, love it.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So how many doll hairs were the cards we just look at?
Wait, how much? Well, let me show you this one too. So combined.
Is that a trout?
Yeah, probably 6.
And that's what a sapphire chrome collection.
No, this is a chrome refractor. This is a Mike Trout first Bowman Chrome first autograph.
Love it.
Wow.
BGS 9.5. That's about a $60,000 card.
Yeah.
55. So this is probably about 120K right there.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Five cards.
That's baseball. We can move a little bit to football. We got our boy Brady. So that's a Brady rookie from 2000.
It's still keep
a few years before COVID. Then
I'm curious. The Tom Brady rookie season card? Like when he officially retired, did the value go up, or does it not really change?
He had already
so
jumped
much?
up so much when he came back and won the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's maybe like 1 or 2% better, but
so it didn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, this is a Justin Herbert National Treasures RPA. That's like a $50,000 card.
Good Lord,
right there. I mean, yeah, these are high end stuff. I'm just giving you guys the best.
I mean, you gotta give the best.
Joey B championship ticket. So look at this card. The Tom Brady version of that card, and it was graded like an 8 or something. Just sold for like over $2.4 million.
Incredible.
So this is a 9 point. So if Burrow becomes Brady, basically, we're going to.
And what are you pulling those out of?
We're going to a private island.
Are those the NFL Select or?
No, this is so the Herbert was a Panini National Treasures, which is like the highest end product.
Yeah, they're a lot.
This one's a Panini Contenders. Contenders is huge. This is a Jordan rookie. This is one of the most popular most sought after cards in the hobby.
Yep.
Wow,
it's like the most iconic.
Back at 9.5 is impressive too.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. So that's huge. I'll give you another GOAT, even though Jordan's obviously my GOAT. LeBron Topps Chrome Refractor PSA 10 grade. Oh yeah, I remember.
So where do you? So like, are these online auctions? Are these all card collector? Get-togethers, gatherings. What?
Ask him where he's going this week.
Yeah, ask where I'm going. I'm going to Dallas Card Show this week. I'm going Thursday to Sunday. That's a Ja Morant RPA rookie card, PSA 10. That's a stupid hard grade.
Oh yeah.
I bank wired $40,000 for that card.
I believe it. Now, when you buy these, like,
okay, so now this is like the main stuff.
Are you meeting the sellers like in person, or are you buying these through eBay?
If the deal's big enough, I'll fly to them. They'll fly to me, or it's usually a cash deal, or it's a bank. Oh yeah! Oh my God! I'll tell you a story. Last year, now granted, that's a Luke Skywalker original Star Wars PSA 9. That's a monster right there. That's an 8, but I have a 9 at home. Hulk Hogan. This is the best wrestling card that exists. That's a 9.5 graded, population 10.
What's that?
Which means 10's where you Hulk Hogan. That's like a $70,000 card right
You got a Ric Flair.
I was going to ask if you got.
Do you have a Ric Flair?
Ric Flair is cooler. And look, I'll give you some oddball ones. You talked about the Kim Kardashian card. I got to give it to you. Pop 2 Kim Kardashian cards. Like, I mean, that's cool. Over $10,000. Put it that way. And people will be like, I wouldn't pay a nickel. Okay, that's fine.
Sports card, like avid sports card collectors.
Even Justin Biebs. We even got the Biebs.
You got the Biebs.
in a jersey too, no less.
Bro,
wow.
it says NBA All-Star Game on the slab, so it's one of the better ones. So okay, thank you, James. James was like, okay, let me sit down. But it gives you gives you an idea of like. I'm going like card shows. People, the stuff that happens like card show, like it's insane. Like people are like,
this is clearly not new hobby to you.
$200,000 with them, and they're just like buying stuff in cash and stuff, and people will fly for deals all over the place. People are going to card shows like every week. It's freaking huge,
and it's like on the rise even more now than ever, right? Like it just seems
incredibly.
Yeah.
It's incredibly on the rise.
It settled down a little bit. At least Grant settled down a little bit. It was probably too hot for a minute, and then
it was the Wild Wild West like about a year ago.
Like everybody was just again a lot of this stuff inflation wise, like you see with real estate and everything, like all this PPP money, right? What was that stat?
Our boy 60, Patrick Bet David's
or it was what?
Is he?
Big time.
Yeah, Patrick David posts all the time about it. But it was what? 60% of all money in circulation was printed in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So there was just this massive influx of cash, and so people didn't know what to do with it. So they were getting these loans, they were doing this. And so there was a moment where, Grant was getting one up all the time. And he comes into my office one day, like super nervous, and was like, dude, I got this guy. He's like flying down here to like buy this. What was it? The Pelicans. Yeah, Zion. Zion card. And he was like, I mean, I don't want to get robbed. I don't know what's going to happen, this and that. And so I present for the deal. And even at this point in time, I still didn't believe like what the card industry was becoming. And I was like, dude, Grant, this is out of control. Like, this can't be real. And this dude got on a plane, flew to Orlando, got a rental car, drove to Vero, was maybe here for an hour.
Yeah, most. That, yeah.
And walked in. Grant brought him in there, so there was like witnesses to make sure like nothing sketchy went down.
At our office, and I felt very safe.
And unzipped his backpack and stacked on top of the table.
No, you're forgetting the best part. He had a Pokemon box with $125,000 in cash. And in the middle of our I have a picture. I'm going to send it to you.
I would put it in a less obvious box because, I mean, I buy and resell Pokemon stuff all the time, and there's a huge market for that.
It was like an old box. No, he was just using it to transport money, like in his carry-on.
Oh my gosh! Did he look like he would have 125 grand in the backpack? Did he look the part?
No.
Just an avid collector.
He looked like he was leaving LA Fitness.
Yeah, he just looked normal. So what happened? And let me tell you how I acquired the card. It was an Eminence, like numbered to like 1 of 3 Zion card. Our rookie patch autograph. It was unbelievable. That card has since deflated 90%. By the way.
Oh, poor guy.
No, I know. Well, it was his buddy, and his buddy has like properties all over the world, so I didn't feel that bad.
That's probably a personal card too.
So there's a thing called card breaks where you have people like you and me, except they do nothing except open cards. They make 6 figures. Yep. All they do is they open cards all day. People buy spots to see, and like it's like
Willy Wonka's, buy teams and all that. Yep.
Yeah, you buy teams. There's pick your team or whatever, and you get basically anything they open. If you pay for it and you like say had that team, like if I had the Pelicans and Zion comes out, like I get the Zion. So we were in an ultra high break. Every spot was 35. There's 10 spots. Each was $3,500 a spot. So I bought 1 spot, and 2 of my buddies I know in town each bought a spot themselves. And it was like basically you didn't know who was getting what. It was like a draft. It was like a hit break. And basically, if a big card's pulled, if your spot like there's a 10 spot random. Let's say if I had spot 4, and if like the random by a third party like landed on number 4, like I would get the card. So we said, hey, if one of the 3 of us hits this card, we split the money. Deal? We went deal. And so one of my other buddies hit his number hit. So we had a 30% chance. It hit. We went, oh my God. We got the card overnighted to us, and we had a buyer. I had a buyer because my card Instagram, which gives me crazy exposure. And this guy's like, I need that card. What do you want for it? I had like 3 people competing over it. I was like, I need like 130 grand, like cash or wire. Or if you do cash, I'll do 125. He was like, okay, hold on. I was like, what? This guy's like, about to do this. And so he was like, I can make that happen. I just have to give me a couple of days. I have to go to a few banks, and I'm going to fly one of my buddies down who wants to see his parents in Florida anyways. And so can you wait 2 days to get it? And I was like, yeah, give me a down payment of $2,000 and, sure. And sure enough, like you just saw, I didn't even know how to bring it up to James. I'm like, this guy is coming with all his money. And I need you here. And
because James is going to get him. Yeah. James is the guy you want. Yeah,
shoot him with what is that thing called?
At the time I had the little gun safe.
Well, James actually has a little gun, but we also have this thing that like it's non-lethal. You like pounds you with like a gas or what is it? It's like
pounds you with gas.
It's like this thing. And
is it like Despicable Me? Is it the fart gun?
No, so his dad one day was like, every once in a while, this in a call center, you get disgruntled agents or something like that. And so I have a gun here just in case. And he was like, so if something breaks out in the call center, what are you just going to go in there like shooting? And I was like, well, no, that's a good point. So on the news one night, they have this, I forget what it's called, but it shoots paintballs, but it's a little CO2 handgun. But inside the paintballs is mace and pepper spray. And it hurts like the dickens when it hits you, and then it explodes. And so it's like basically you shoot the person that's like acting up, and then mace and pepper spray everywhere.
Okay.
Have you been shot by it?
I have not, but we watched YouTube videos of the guys getting shot by it.
But the real question is, do you have one of these?
That's the salt blaster for bugs, right?
That's what that is. Yeah.
No, you need the shredder version.
This is courtesy of Justin Brock, and then I sent Justin Brock back the $200 version of this. That's a pistol, and it's CO2, and it blasts him. And I sent it to the address that I Googled, and it's his childhood address, and they never got it. So that was a waste. But yeah, that's the bug assault.
If you ever run like a smoker outside, and the amount of flies that come around, it makes sitting outside drinking beer.
It's like a dove shoot.
No, because it literally kills them. Like, I don't know if you've ever done it. Like, it's actually really impressive how quickly it'll
I've used it. But anyways, do you have security in the office today, Grant? Because you need a security escort to get home now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
well, this isn't live, right?
No, it's not live. You're good. No one's waiting outside your office door. This won't drop until next Friday. So he was like, "Oh shit!"
I got time.
Yo, shit.
No, I'm moving all these at the card show this week. No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, obviously I have a huge safe and it's bolted and it's secure, but I don't keep them at home anymore because I don't want anyone robbing me at home.
And you have an Instagram. You have an Instagram with them, so yeah.
I do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do have a card Instagram too. You need to be. Brad already follows it.
For me and for my sake, right here, I'll give you a shout out right here and see if we can get you some more followers on there. But for my sake, I just want to know how the hell to get into, like, where would you start? Like, would you just go to a show and you try to, like, obviously I don't want to collect.
What you need to do is put some money.
It's DJ Grizzle Cards for anyone wondering. Literally DJ GRIZZLE cards. I mean, all those cards he just showed us are all on there. It's ridiculous, man. But yes, how would one get started in it? Let's say I wanted to mess around, started. Where do you start?
We can close it out because I know we want to get some other things. I mean, I would say, like, you could go to a show, you'll have a great time, but I would say buy the cards themselves. You know, some people get wrapped up in like the thrill of opening packs. That's like buying scratch off lottery tickets. Right. It's really not worth it.
Ripping's a lot of fun, though. You have the discipline
to buy actual, like, buying sealed boxes is one thing, but like, you kind of got to know what you're doing a little more. The best thing to do is, like, if you have sports knowledge and you're not into cards at all, like, who's going to be good? Right. So projecting, who do I think is going to be like I love John Morant right now. You know, I love guys like, I love Herbert. I love Burrow. Football, stick with quarterbacks. Right. You know, basically anyone that has the potential to be an MVP or you think can win championships or that's going to be really good or score a lot of points or whatever. Like those top guys that have the MVP caliber, like Anthony Edwards for basketball. I like, I mean, baseball guys. I mean, these Dominican guys are like, you can't lose on these guys, it seems like. But the best guys you think, and then at that point, you want to get graded cards of those people at the right price. And typically the best way to find true value is what does a card go at auction? And, I mean, it's really what you like. So, I mean, it's like if you like, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to get a really good shot. And if you think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good, it'd be like, buy some Contenders or National Treasures Trevor Lawrence when they come out, right? And then they're not out yet of that class. Yeah. It would just be like, but don't just buy, like, again, there's an art to it, buying the right brands per sport. And there's a guy, Sports Card Investor. He actually went to UF as well. He has great tutorials.
Is he on YouTube? Yeah. One of my other buddies that collects. I got to introduce you. To another one of my buddies, Michael Leb. He's a big collector and he's got a lot of higher end cards and stuff too. He's also insurance. He was telling me about Sports Card Investor's YouTube channel. I've watched a few of it. Like that's the rabbit hole. I got to learn everything about it before I start to mess with it. That's like those rabbit holes are so dangerous. I can see why.
Or you just have someone like, or you just text me and be like, bro. I like Justin Herbert. Give me a good deal. If you find a good Justin Herbert deal, like, point it out to me, and I'm gonna pull the trigger on a $10,000 Herbert and sit on it or something.
Why not? Do people flip them though? Do people flip them? Because I'm not a collector of anything. That's I don't get excited about collections. He's got like collections of comics and collections of this and that and the other, and I'm like, now he's collecting shoes. I want to buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. The money is what excites me.
Well, if that's the case, then. I mean, really what you want to do too is like find a card that you think is going to be super valuable. The high value player, the high value brand of it, basically, like find out the one that's going for the most for an unopened box. Like that's what you want to look at. But you can even go on eBay, and most people that sell cards on eBay, especially ungraded, will take 1,000 pictures of the card. And if you know what to look for grading a card, you can make a pretty educated guess if that card's going to be able to get a relatively high grade.
Do you agree or disagree, Grant?
Well, yes and no. It depends. There's a lot of factors. I mean, it depends. Like if a card was released, a brand was released like 2 years ago, and it's a raw card, ungraded. It's like I'm fishy already.
Correct.
But you can see centering wise, you can see, and of course, like maybe corners. But it really is content. There's a lot of factors. That again, like I try to. You used to grading has gotten insane. The companies are out of their mind. They don't even tell you when they're sending your card back.
It's like 6 months
PSA
out.
has some like more.
No way.
It's like crazy.
Well, 6 months for expedited now.
Yeah, and they've quadrupled their grading prices. So you used to be able to make. I'm not talking like you could grade a card, make 6x immediately.
Yeah.
And now it's like you can't grade low end cards, nor do they sell well at this point. So it's like you kind of it's I don't know. For
so
right
you're
now,
holding it for a year. You're holding it for a year, basically, until it gets graded.
Yeah, unless you expedite it, which is going to cost a couple $100, but then you want a high end card to grade. You can't do that with a low end card.
It's wild.
Grant, back in the Wild Wild West days, Grant used to make me break. I don't even know. That's like get you in trouble. I used to break cards out of cases that were graded, and then Grant would get them,
resubmit them,
and then resubmit them, and oftentimes get a better grade and then resell. But I had like all the tools to like cut off the corner and slowly try to.
James was my card breaker. James was the one I was like, James, can you get this card safely? Don't damage it out of the case.
That's risky business right there, dude. That is super risky business.
You just gotta get like a screwdriver, break the end off, pry it open with the, get in the little wedge Phillips head. Oh, not even if it's a flathead screwdriver. Prop it open, then take it out, and then you got to cut it out of the little sleeve, and then I just clean that thing up, like buff that thing. I resub it. I remember one time I had a Jason Tatum was an 8.5 Beckett, and then I was like, how did this get an 8.5? And so I had James cut it out. You did cut this card out. I still have it today. It's an orange Prism Jason Tatum rookie card, 2017, and it's a PSA 10 now. It's worth like $13,000 or something, you know. And it was a card I bought ungraded for like $900.
And it's a lot of Beckett's.
It's pretty subjective, huh?
You can open up a lot of Beckett's and submit a PSA and get
It's
10s.
stupid. It's so dumb. You gotta.
Anyways,
it's silly.
Who's the better golfer?
This guy.
No, James has his days. I mean, we played on Friday.
The handicap index doesn't lie. It's
okay.
Well,
What's your guys' index? Maybe we're a fair matchup. We've been trying to get over to Vero Beach for like 2 years now to play golf, and so we need just to make it happen. What's your handicap, Grant?
Like between a 7 and an 8, probably like an 8.
What's yours, James?
14.2.
Pretty solid.
Pretty
That's
good.
Pretty even.
We're a pretty good match. Really, like I'm a 14.4 right now. His is
between 8 and
his
9.
is probably 8-9.
Yeah, so we're the same. We're pretty much.
Which card do you want to play for?
We are brothers. We are same.
Which card do you want to? Which card do you want to play for?
Oh my God!
Brad wants the Kim K.
We could play for something. No, we could play for something. How about this? You play for $500 credit, and then you buy the other person's card, and they have to keep it.
Deal.
Invest it.
Deal.
I mean, you can't screw the other person.
Deal.
Or you just let them pick their own card.
Whatever bet you want.
Yeah.
How about we'll let you make the bet. Whatever bet you want. Whatever bet you want. We'll come over.
We'll come over here. You got a free round of golf waiting whenever you make the trek over here, and then we'll play cart versus cart. Come to our country club, and we'll have a good time.
Definitely.
We'll wait till you sober up a little bit. Massage those livers and kidneys right now. And then,
dude, we're going to Mexico. We're going to Mexico. I'm leaving Wednesday. We're leaving Wednesday morning.
Are. Yeah.
Well, I'm leaving Wednesday at 5:50. My plane departs.
Okay, I leave at
6
7,
o'clock.
an hour later.
We're literally going to Mexico Wednesday for 4 days. So, like, we get 2 days to recover, 1.5 days to recover, and now we're in Cabo San Lucas Wednesday to Sunday. So it's a tough life, dude. Insurance does suck,
it's hard.
but it does get you around the world, doesn't it? Like, lots of trips, lots of.
We were just in Cabo for our trip. Yeah. Not too long ago.
You can't beat it.
Cabo.
Well, James,
where y'all stand?
I want to let James. We're staying at a Secret. I know you've been to Secrets, right? Secrets, Cabo San Lucas. Every insurance company takes a trip there. They've got a good resort course.
We go. Our company, I think, is a little bit different. So we take probably less people, but then we go a little bit higher end. So we do in Cabo we did LeBlanc, and then this year we're taking our group to Grand Velas and Riviera Maya, which is the only 5 diamond. It's the only 5 diamond all inclusive in Mexico. So,
wow. Where is Riviera Maya?
Just south of Cancun.
I think we went there. I think we went there last year. I'm pretty certain we went there last year.
Oh, where you guys ended up after the hurricane.
Last year we ended up, like during the freaking hurricane. Like we went down there and there was a hurricane. We had to go from one side of the Yucatan Peninsula on a bus to the other side of the Yucatan Peninsula. And then the hurricane went through. They drove us back on the back on the bus to Cancun. It was crazy. We made the most of it, but I'm looking forward to be back in Mexico playing some more golf. So we'll see. Yep. But listen, I want to hear from James. I want to know, obviously you're passionate about the real estate investing. Have you been doing that before insurance? Is that what you transitioned some of your insurance money into? Because again, the thing I love about the opportunity is insurance is just a great vehicle, right? And that vehicle can take you somewhere, but you can once you're to a certain point, you can start to take some of that money from a great opportunity and put it into something maybe a little bit more exciting like sports cards or real estate, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you see a lot of people in this industry that flashy and watches and cars and
bow ties.
Coming from the guy wearing a suit and a bow tie right
and
now.
Bow ties.
Well, we've come a long way, but it's tough. Sometimes even my wife, who was actually known Grant even longer than me, she's like, you just keep buying more real estate, but when are we going to get a place? So I actually finally
You're homeless?
No, but she wants to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He's got his own ranch.
So, we bought a lot. We're going to build there. But real estate, I was passionate about. I did it with my dad. The recession, we really got hit hard. My dad declared bankruptcy from that. We kind of got stuck holding the bag, which is something that's made me a lot more cautious with a lot of what we do. But currently have 14 apartments in Vero, along with, it's really in 2 buildings, but 7 commercial spots. So there's a restaurant, a bar, Metro PCS, all that. So it's mixed use on that side. Then 3 single families here. One's being rented, one my parents rent from me, and then and then my personal plus the ranch that Grant talked about. I buy land, so we have 330 acres.
The ranch that I also need to get out to and teach you how to hunt.
Teach me how to hunt in Okeechobee. I finally went quail hunting the other day.
That's badass.
And then most recently, it was really tough. Florida's just crazy. Vero's out of control.
No kidding.
And Vero real estate have 10x'd in the past 2 years.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are you doing anything now in Florida with this craziness we've got going on?
I haven't bought anything recently in Florida, but I was able to, again, through networking and doing all this stuff, through a couple of different avenues, similar, some people that we know, I was able to meet some guys that have a huge real estate conglomerate, kind of there's a Discord for that. There's a big networking event. I've been to a couple of their conferences, and a couple of the guys in that and myself. So I got involved in Austin. So right now I've got a lot of money and stuff tied up in Austin. We did a joint venture. Me and 3 other guys bought a $3 million apartment complex there. They're all townhomes, and then we're doing a condo conversion. So then we're putting about another 1.2 million into them, converting them all into condos, and got pretty lucky there because since we went under contract with that, Austin has obviously blown up. You got Tesla moving there. You've got Apple.
Austin's a cool
Facebook,
place. Yeah, really cool place.
Facebook just bought the 2 largest skyscrapers in Texas and is moving their stuff there. You got all kinds of stuff. So the real estate there has absolutely exploded, plus COVID and politics and all that stuff, Joe Rogan, everything. So prices there have gone through the roof. And so we are already pre-sold. We haven't even finished the first unit pre-sold, about 30% of them.
Wow.
And we just keep raising the prices, and people just keep paying whatever it is. So we've gotten pretty fortunate there. So we'll be out of that before the end of this year. And so then I'll need to 1031 exchange that into something. So if anybody out there has anything, hit me up.
A 1031 exchange.
So I don't want to pay taxes.
Actually,
insurance sucks, but taxes suck more.
Yeah, that's correct. Kidding. I don't think anyone will argue.
How'd you get started? How'd you get started in that? Obviously, you got to make some money first, then you got to kind of know how to set up those deals. So what are you looking for when you got started?
When I first started, I've just always been super handy. I mean, Grant will tell you what. Growing up, I did a lot of construction, did a lot of just handy type stuff. I was an Eagle Scout. I just kind of always was comfortable around tools and stuff.
He's an Eagle Scout. So nice.
And then
wrong sound effect. I failed.
I don't think you can access it while it's recording.
It's all good. I had a soundbite. I had a soundbite for that, but it wasn't this. I promise.
Well, I can't hear anything. So
anyways.
But Grant and I don't have. I want to build side tangent real quick. I want to build. If anyone watches Jim Cramer or Mad Money on CNBC, because I am really into stocks, I want one of those giant soundboards. But right now, Grant and I just have about a dozen buttons.
Money buttons.
You got every button.
We've got that one.
You just need this.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know.
But I'm not running mixers. We run an hour-long sales call every day. I'm not running mixers for all that stuff. And I am the IT guy. But anyways, on the insurance or on the real estate side, then in college I was the house manager for a fraternity house. So I was always like fixing. Like Graham was like, I want to mount it to. He got a first flat screen in like the house, and I mounted it in there. We did all kinds.
It wasn't very flat. It was like an old ass plasma.
Oh my! The thing probably weighed 300 pounds too.
Yeah.
Heated up my room to like 102 degrees.
And so I got into that, but then obviously I was $100,000 in student loan debt and credit card debt by the time I moved down here. And so just, a couple of things, which is a whole nother conversation. But first of all, like, starting small, like the first thing I did when I started to make some money here again was, my wife and I weren't even married yet at the time. We bought like, one of the best advice anyone's ever given me is buy the, can we curse on here? Buy the crappiest, right? Buy the shittiest house in the nicest neighborhood.
There you go.
And so that's what I did. And it was this old neighborhood behind here, McCanch Park. And it was so run down. It was like somebody was running as a daycare. They had like put asphalt in the back. Like, it was a mess. And every night after work, I would go over there, and we were renting a little place, and I did all the work myself. I redid all the floors. I redid all the bathrooms. I put all the cabinets in. I did everything.
He's not just good looking, everyone. He's more than just good looks.
But, people want to avoid the sweat equity, whether it's insurance or real estate or cards or whatever. They want to avoid the hard work. And so like me understanding like design styles and what it was going to take and being able to see like this house next door sold for this one with overgrown weeds and like a bad roof is selling for 10% of that. Like people want to pay for convenience and turnkey. So we bought that. And then when our son was born, my wife was like, we can't be in this 1920s house with lead paint. So we put it on the market and I ended up making about $70,000 in about a year that we lived there off of that. But it was a lot of sweat equity that I put into it. And so we took that money and I just kept kind of doing that. And then networking, right? I mean, the only reason we all know each other is from networking and from events and all that stuff. Yeah. And so meeting people. The apartments that I own here, I personally only have about 5%. I own 50% of it. I only have 5% of the total value is money I put into it. And the rest is other people's money. I mean, there are a lot of incredibly wealthy people. If you carry yourself well, introduce yourself, that like, just like if you find some, retired individual with millions of dollars, like they're trying to diversify from the stock market. And, government bonds aren't paying anything. So if you offer somebody 8% interest and you're willing to personally guarantee it, they will give you. And I mean, for that apartment, they gave us $1 million on 8% interest, which is a pretty good hard money loan.
Right.
And then we took that and we bought the apartments and were able to cash flow, then refied out, got them the money back. So doing, stuff like that has helped me get there. And I don't own anything. I mean, I own my personal residence and some of the smaller houses, but none of my apartments do I own 100% of. Grant and I bought a duplex when we first started. And again, I just, I always tell people, if you want to get started there, if you can get an FHA loan, You only have to put 3% down.
Right.
So instead of buying a single family residence, you can get up to a quadplex on an FHA loan. So you put 3% down, you live in one, rent the other 3, or live in one, rent the other side. And then you're paying your mortgage off, you're building equity in that, you can resell that. So there's a lot of ways to start small. But again, everybody's like, oh, I want to go buy, they want to be Grant Cardone today, you know, and, they just can't do it. So, it's taken me 13 years, to get here. But, I obsess on it and I keep wanting to flip it and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And, then eventually, insurance residuals, real estate residuals,
it's a sick combination.
Yep.
I can say honestly that I'm probably a little guilty of that. I'm looking for the home run and the sweat equity. I don't know. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I would love to do the manual labor. Right now, I don't know, man. I'm just not a big manual labor guy. So I wasn't an Eagle Scout though.
All right. So you don't want to do manual labor, let's say, but now you got the cash, right? But maybe the way to get into it is to find even like a quadplex, but you're not going to be able to have a property manager, right? So then you've got to be willing to, you can be intimidated. You put a hat on backwards and put a camo jacket on and put a dip in and go kick the ball.
Did you see Brad this weekend?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And,
that's what I was wearing before I got on the podcast.
I was the rent collector. I was doing all that stuff. I was making sure that I don't change the toilets anymore, but if the toilet broke at the old place, I go do it. But now we've got a property manager, but if you're going to start early, at least be willing to go collect the rent, be willing to, go call the electrician and do all that stuff, which will save you 10, 20% on management fees, which gives you the ability to get into it. But, I was talking with the guy, Brad Lee put up a video, he was making fun of, what's the guy that tells you all debt is bad? I just drew a blank on it.
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. Thank you. Right. But then Dave Ramsey says, pay me $79 on your credit card and I'll show you how to get out of debt.
Yeah. Right.
So, no offense, but but
that's good.
Some people need his help to get out of debt, but he's certainly not somebody I'm following if I want to earn more money or let my money earn more money.
And Bradley had a video he posted yesterday. I was sending some people that was saying why would I if the bank's only going to ask me to do 20%, they're going to give me the other 80%. I get all the appreciation. I get all the payments. I get, I get to write off the depreciation on my taxes. The bank doesn't do anything and they're giving it to me at 4% interest, 3.5% interest. Now I can take, $200,000 and go buy $1 million worth of real estate. People just, if you understand math and understand numbers and how that works, that can be there. And then someone says, okay, I don't have $200,000. Okay. Find somebody with, $200,000 worth of cards sitting right here and say, hey, so Brad, you might have the 200,000. You don't want to do the work. Go find somebody that is willing to put the work in. These guys in Texas, they're doing most of the leg. I'm not over there remodeling these places, but I've got the money to do it now. Now they're putting in the equity. So also don't always say I need to own 100% of anything. You know, if you find people that are willing to do the work, like Grant and I, the reason insurance did so well for us is we're like yin and yang. The things that I'm really bad at, Grant's really good at. The things that Grant's really bad at, I'm really good
James
at.
James is good at way more things than me.
So is Sean. It's okay.
It's
but just in the insurance space, you know what I mean? I understand how to do the technology stuff. I understand how to get our call center stuff built. I understand how to do all that. Grant's better at motivation and training and was just a better salesperson than me. But together we were better.
It's like we're looking in the mirror. Right? It's like we're looking in the mirror, maybe 5 years. They're 5, 6, 7 years ahead of us. I mean,
James has much nicer hair than
Grant had the first, I'm only saying that not because you guys look old, right? You look great, but if Grant had the first flat screen TV in his fraternity house, then I think they're a little older than us. It's like we're looking in the mirror 5 years, 10 years, maybe a decade. Who knows? I love it.
And to your point, it takes a little bit of stress off. If you look at a picture of Grant and I in 2009 when we first got on the phones, I was 260 pounds. And I still
I've seen some of those pictures, man. Crazy.
And I was eating.
He was happy.
$5, Hungry Howie's and Natty Light was my dinner.
That's funny. Well, what's crazy to me is as you're saying that, James, as far as how you got into it and all that, it just clicked in my head, and I'm like, man, every business is almost the exact same. And I know we're not talking insurance, but something that we all experience on a day-to-day basis. You're talking about just getting your foot in the door, finding somebody who can help finance it. You don't need to own 100%. You can own 10%. Yeah. Just make a little bit. It's like when we're recruiting or a new agent's coming in and they're like, well, why is my comp only this? Why are you making this much over me? And it's like, well, you get an override on someone because you've got the experience, you have the resources, you've been in the business longer. It's like, get into real estate or an industry that you're interested in, and you don't have to be the top dog right away. It's okay to start at the bottom and learn from it. And I think totally. Like that's something that's difficult for people to just figure out mentally, because I mean, for me, like if I go into something, I'm like, all right, cool. Like I want to own everything. I want to maximize my profits as much as possible. But even just getting your foot in the door to where you can start to learn it so that you can become more 100%. Efficient in the future. Because I'm sure if you jumped into real estate day one all on your own, there's a lot of mistakes that you would make.
Oh, yeah.
Versus just, having a partner who's got some experience in it who can help you kind of guide you through that so you can learn the industry a little bit better.
I think that's good too, because it's kind of like when it's like, I don't want to read the whole damn book. It's 400 pages, but I can read the Cliff Notes. I was good at reading Cliff Notes. or know someone who's better at this than me. Like, it's like you're saying, well, Grant, how do I get into it? It's like, know the basics.
Right.
But if you want to buy, like run stuff by someone that has already done that legwork.
Absolutely.
And then you get top level, upper echelon type advice from people who are good at that. Like when I need to know something about real estate or I want to go into something with James, like this is the guy I'm going to go into it with.
Yep.
I'm not going to go into it like, I gotta
do it by myself.
I gotta do it all by myself. I gotta teach myself everything. No, educate yourself.
Yeah.
Not like you gotta learn, but surround yourself with the right people. And networking is so important. Like you're in all these groups, and it's like, why am I in all these groups? Well, you're in all these groups because somebody knows somebody that
absolutely
is gonna hook you up or help you or get you to a good place. So it's just
absolutely. And there's very few people in any industry, regardless of what it is. Because I'm like James. I'm in like 1,000 different Discord stuff for crypto, reselling, what stocks, option. It doesn't matter what it is. Everybody is sharing information, and I have never run into somebody who is uberly successful in something that's not willing to help out or share information, as long as you're willing to at least take the initial steps on your own. It's like if somebody's coming to James and saying, I want to invest in the stock market, what should I do? Who should I buy? And it's like, well, like, do your research. What do you like? What type of industry do you think is going to be?
Right.
Are you looking for, like, if they're not willing to at least do that basic information, that research, like, you're not going to want to help them. But if they're like, hey, I was really looking into these different companies, I like them for this reason, what are your opinions on them? You're going to be much more willing to give out that information. You just have to do the very basic stuff. And people that have been successful in it are always willing to help people out. I've never run to a single person who I would consider highly talented in their trade. That's like, I'm not telling anybody anything. They want to talk. They want to help.
Yep.
So boys, when are we golfing?
It's up to you.
I know, right? Yeah. I say that. I knew I was gonna catch some flack.
James
But
and
here's
I buy the round. And we'll supply the adult beverage.
And if you wait till
I'm a cheap date, so
if you wait till May, then you could literally, like, we could take you to
several different places.
3. I mean, because one of our clubs were just in the summer, and it's arguably one of the nicest golf courses in Florida, let alone Vero. And so we got. I mean, Vero. There's, I think, 62 courses within 25 miles of us. It's out of control. So.
Yeah, well, we got to love living in Florida, man. It was great hanging out with you guys. I'm really thankful you guys coming on. I know we've got to get wrapping up here. I respect your time, and it's been a crazy day back in the office after the bachelor party. So, man, we're really
wanted to come in person. I told you if you let me get a little bit further, I was going to fly over there and do it and then fly home. But
yeah, dude. I mean, we can do that soon, or we can come to you with full podcast gear. Yeah. How about that? We'll set it up in the studio.
And May's a good timeline because February's over. Today's last. I can't believe February's over, but I get married April, so my March is screwed, and then obviously April's going to be busy. May's good. Plus,
yeah,
summer golf's always fun.
There we go. As long as it's not my wife's birthday, I'll be in. So we'll plan it for some weekend. One of the weekends.
Let's get it on the calendar in May.
And there's a call center for some industry that we're not allowed to talk about that, you could, come see that operation too. So.
Love it.
I'm getting on the calendar in May. We'll get that scheduled, but we got to wrap this thing up, man. It's great hanging out with you guys. Really appreciate you coming on. I want to do one more shout out to DJ Grizzle Cards, right? DJ Grizzle Cards. Follow him on Instagram.
He was DJ Grizzle in our fraternity, and he was
house DJ.
He was out DJing big playlist for every night pre-party. It was great.
And I always like helping people out. You talk about helping people out. I'll give you advice. Follow me. If you have questions about cards you want to get in, it's a lot easier than you think. Just hit me up.
Yeah, two really great dudes right here. James Whitley, Grant Dougherty. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
All right. See you guys.